Switch things to the United States now, and we are looking at these live pictures that are coming to us from a detention facility, or outside a detention facility in downtown Los Angeles. So to the top of your screen, or to the right there, that's the members of the National Guard. To the left are protesters, and there are a lot of cameras down there too, so members of the media, which might inflate the numbers. So overall, small, but still large-ish, because there are other parts to this protest as well, not just that shot. I want to bring in the Republican strategist, John Jordan. He's in the state of California. He joins us live now too. John, it's good to see you this morning. First of all, we'll continue looking at these live feeds. There are a number of them coming through to us. But what do you make of what's going on, John?
Well, I've lived in Los Angeles a long time and was just there. You said it beautifully at the outset, and that is, it's small-ish. The numbers of protesters is small. But this particular group of protesters, by the far left, have demonstrated an inclination towards violence, which is why they want to identify these immigration officers and threaten their families and threaten them on social media. So it isn't the size of the protests; it's the intensity and malevolence of these actors on the that are threatening them or protesting it, as it were. It's not their absolute numbers. Just to give you some scale, the Los Angeles Police Department has 8,800 officers as of this morning, and President Trump authorized 2,000 members of the California National Guard. So it's not big numbers, but this is about providing protection for these officers as they carry out their constitutional duty.
I noticed that the Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom has called this, John, purposefully inflammatory. But, well, first of all, let's get your reaction to that. And not just his comments, but also the mayor as well, Karen Bass, who's called it a chaotic escalation. I mean, there's a couple of Democrats there, so not that surprising.
No, I mean, you look at, for example, history, you look at President Clinton, even President Obama deported huge numbers of people that had come into this country illegally and said America must defend its borders. That's President Obama as recently as, 8 or 9 years ago. So this isn't new. What is new is that the left wants to make this a political issue. And the left continues in this United States to confuse immigration, legal immigration, with illegal immigration. America is a country of immigrants. We welcome over 1 million a year legally. It's when you come in illegally, unvetted, that you're subject to being sent home. And that's what this is about. The Democrats want to want some ugly things on TV screen to make Republicans look anti-immigrant, when in fact we're just anti-illegal immigration.
So how rare, I mean, obviously a Californian, John, how rare is this that, that the National Guard would come in and basically override the state, the authority of the state? I mean, I'm sure it hasn't happened in a while.
No, it hasn't. That's a great call. That's a great question. So the National Guard, under normal times, is under the control of the state governor, and this is true of all 50 states. But the President of the United States, whoever that is, can federalize it and bring the National Guard troops under federal control. In this case, that's what President Trump did, but only for a relatively small number, 2,000, and that's just to provide security for the immigration agents, because the state and the city won't do it otherwise.
What's the circuit breaker, do you think, here, John? How does this end?
Well, it ends politically. It'll end. It'll end. President Trump is intent on removing illegal immigrants from the country. The left isn't going to let go of this. They're going to try to have these scenes to keep it on TV as much as possible to make Republicans look bad. But you look at the poll numbers on this, 80% of Americans are for deporting illegal immigrants, especially those that commit crimes. So I think this will be like so many other stunts of the left. It'll get a few big play for a few days in various media markets, and then kind of give way to other things.
So, I mean, I guess it reminds me a more recent example, perhaps over the past few years, defund the police, and, that movement which flared up for a bit and then went away. Is it somewhat similar to that in that, a certain portion of the Democrat faithful try and big up these things before moving on to something else?
Yeah, exactly. They try to big up them. I don't think you're going to have, this is not going to be as big as defund the police. Remember, that lasted for quite a while and spread across the country. and the country was divided on that. On this issue, actually, the Democrats are on the wrong side of an 80-20 issue. So that argues that tells you that they won't stick with this for very long when they see it's not helping them politically.
Yeah, and remembering that Donald Trump, he romped it in the last election, and immigration was a key plank of his policy too. So that in itself suggests that the majority of Americans support what he's doing. John, thank you so much. Good to see you.